What's going on, everyone? Good morning if you're watching live, or good morning if you're not, because you're probably going to watch this in the morning because the deadline is so ridiculously early. I've not long been up, so I do apologise. I did read some psychology article or something like that saying you make decisions better in the morning, so hopefully that'll be the case here. So I'm doing this live because I just no time to record it, render it, and upload it with any time for you to watch it. So if I record it live, the video will be ready straight away once I've finished. So I'm just going to go through the questions in Slack as normal, answer them as best I can, and then if there's any questions in the chat afterwards, if anyone is watching this early, live this early, then I'll do them as well. So let's go. By the way, I've made my transfers. I did De Bruyne, Watkins to Rafinha and Kane. I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I feel like I've got the two better players for the next two fixtures, but still, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm forcing the bench boost a little bit too much, but it is what it is. It means I have to play Rafinha or Souček like every week after the double. So that's my only worry. But I can still back out of it. I can still back out of the bench boost. I have to decide in Gameweek 17. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. Chaz, if you have time, start Bowen against Southampton or Che Adams against West Ham. I think Southampton are at home, aren't they? Yeah, I think I would start Adams. Yeah. I don't think West Ham are that good, and I do worry that they're going to try and play like that again against Southampton, like they did against Brighton. I think if West Ham set up with a 4 at the back from the start, I think Bowen could be decent. He could move back to more of his normal position, not playing up front with Haller. But I would probably start Che Adams, just about. Best defenders under 5 in your opinion, excluding Dallas and Soufal, under 5 million. I'm going to have to quickly look them up. Let me think, though. I think Dyer's gone up, hasn't he? Does it have to be? Is it 5 or under? Or is it 5? Or is it 4.9 or under? Let me have a quick look here. I need to bring up the players. Let me just sort it by defenders, max price. I'll just put 5. Okay, who have we even got here? And you can't have so far Dallas. I mean, John Stones is 4.9. Again, this is going to depend if you're building for the double or the blank. But even if you're building for the double, Stones still has a good chance of clean sheets against Everton and Chelsea. Not brilliant, but potential there. Southampton maybe, but I don't particularly like their double game week. There isn't too many that I would want right now, excluding Dallas and Soufal. I can't think of any right now. This is the problem with doing this live. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, and also Southampton don't have Vestergaard either. I mean, okay, Charlie Taylor's an obvious one, but again, good fixtures before, like Fulham and Sheffield United feel like 2 guaranteed clean sheets almost for Burnley. But for the double, it's West Ham away and Liverpool away, so it's not great. But it's worth considering. Balbuena if you want to double up on West Ham as well. They're probably the only ones. I mean, I still don't know if I'm ready to jump on Fulham or West Brom defenders, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. And obviously Aston Villa fixtures aren't great. Lindelof is another option for the double, but he is potentially injured for the next game, so he's also someone off the list. There's too many like what ifs, I think, with cheap defenders at the moment. So they're probably the ones I would look at, the ones I mentioned. So Charlie Taylor, good fixtures before, not great in the double. And obviously you've got Balbuena if you want to double up. There isn't a huge amount under 5 million right now. Souček or Rafinha. So I will quickly look it up now. I've got both, and I would definitely play Rafinha. I also think the fixtures are good for West Ham in the double for Souček, but I also think they're very good for Leeds as well. I know Rafinha hasn't... I've bought him in. I know he hasn't quite hit the points yet. Like, he's had 2 assists against against Man United, 1 goal against Everton back in Game Week 10, and nothing in between. So he's kind of like looking like he's going to deliver, but not actually delivering. Over the last 4, so let me just quickly bring them up. They're very close, right? In terms of goal threat, like, yeah, Rafinha is 0.93 XG, and Souček is 0.77. Rafinha's having more shots in the box, though, and he's creating chances. Most of that is through set pieces, so the quality of the chances he's creating are not fantastic. But I just think the way Leeds attack, West Brom might not be as good as we think now because of what Big Sam did against Liverpool. But I just think those fixtures in the double for Leeds are pretty good. Then it's Newcastle straight after. So I'd probably go Rafinha, but I know everyone loves Souček. But I don't know. I feel like there's more to come from Rafinha. but you can't knock Souček. He's always a threat in the box. Yesterday was kind of handy for him because they did kind of play 3-5-2 for a lot of it, so he was getting further forward. But even when they moved to 4 at the back, he was still getting forward. But they were chasing the game, I suppose. Think about Rafinha and Leeds in general. I think he'd be where I would go. But I will say this: Souček is on 4.2 points per match for the whole season for 5 million. That's pretty good. Like he's got what's the word? He's already done it. Like he's already shown that he can do it. Rafinha has played, let me see, he's played 90 minutes. He started playing 90 minutes in game week 9, so it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7 game weeks, and he has scored 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 24, 27 points in 7 game weeks, did I say? That is 3.9 points per match, so not far off Souček. I just feel like Rafinha's maybe got more to come. Souček is at his level, but that is a good level. What he's at, 4.2 points per match for that price is good, right? Want to bring Robertson in? Would you remove Chilwell or Cresswell for that move? Cresswell has the better double game, but the West Ham defence doesn't seem very reassuring. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have Chilwell over Cresswell because I don't think their double is that bad. Chelsea, it's not great because they have to play Leicester and Vardy, but the fixtures afterwards are good as well. Beforehand, I don't think Chilwell, Cresswell, either of them are that great. Like, Chilwell's got to play Villa, and then he has to play Man City, and Villa are a really good attacking team this year. So, and then Cresswell's got Southampton and Everton. So again, I don't necessarily see clean sheets for West Ham either. So Cresswell's got the best double, but if you're having to play them regularly afterwards, I would probably want Chilwell, to be honest. So I would remove Cresswell, but you're right, for the double in particular, he is very good. So if you don't have to play them, if you're not relying on this player to play lots before and after, you can maybe keep Cresswell, but at that price you probably are. So I'd rather have Chilwell, personally. They could move to a back 4 and Cresswell could play left back, but Moyes did kind of talk Ben Johnson up, who could play left wing back in a back 3. Although Cresswell's been good from a left centre back position, but yeah, I think I'd probably keep Chilwell. Path, which 3 defenders do I start 4 if I bench Calvert-Lewin? Yeah, benching Calvert-Lewin's an interesting one. I don't think I would do it. I know, man, it's a tough because James Rodriguez probably is missing out again, and Richarlison's going to miss out as well. They're both going to be back for the game after. So arguably you could sell. You could bench Calvert-Lewin because it is Man City and their defence is so good right now. And I know a lot of people will probably play Souček instead of Calvert-Lewin, which is fair enough. But as a general rule, I wouldn't look to bench him, especially for a defender. But let me see. Who you've got. Right, so you've got Robertson. Which 3 do I start? So for anyone that's not seeing this in Slack, you've got Bednarak, Robertson, James, Diaz, and so far. So I'd definitely bench so far. I think you have to play Robertson. Diaz and James are tricky because I think both have a chance of conceding. But I guess Diaz does have less chance, which means maybe you should bench. Calvert-Lewin. With Bednarak, I think West Ham are a threat, and without Vestergaard, I think that is a big miss as well. I don't think that defence is good enough that I would bench Calvert-Lewin, but I possibly would play Diaz. I'd probably play James, Diaz, and Robertson, the 3 big boys from the 3 big teams. I don't think I would bench Calvert-Lewin though. Still, and I know that sounds stupid because he's playing Diaz, but I think sometimes you just play your best players. So, is Diaz better than Sofa and Bednarak this week? I think he probably is. Is Calvert-Lewin better than Sofa and Bednarak this week? I think he probably is. So I'd probably just play those 3, and still play Calvert-Lewin. That's just me. And then another who to bench one, which I know you can't see on screen. So you're benching Callum Wilson to play Taylor, Stones, Dyer, and Diaz. Benching Wilson. I mean, Newcastle aren't going to offer much against Liverpool, are they? I don't think that's a bad move. And if you ask me which defender to bench instead of Wilson, I would find it tough. I'd probably say Stones. So it's John Stones against Everton. I guess you would be hedging your bets a bit there that if Everton do score, you haven't lost 2 clean sheets. And obviously, we saw yesterday, if a team does have a go at Liverpool, you can get past them. I don't like benching attackers for defenders usually. But I mean, what's Wilson's max ceiling here is probably not very high. 6 points, probably. Will he get any bonus points in a game against Liverpool? I don't see Liverpool just only scoring like 1 goal again in this one. So I think it's fair if you want to do that. But if you wanted to hedge your bets a little, you could just bench Stones instead. Sol Campbell, Sol Campbell. Martinez or McCarthy, does injured Vestergaard change things for Southampton? I think it changes things a little bit, but I don't think it suddenly makes him like an awful team. Like he does offer a lot of height, for example. But if you're talking about playing this week, Southampton are at home to West Ham, and Martinez is away to Chelsea. I think Villa will do good in that game, and I think there is a chance they nick a result. I don't think there's much chance of a clean sheet, though, personally. I think they'd have to play so well. And obviously Mings is out as well, so I would definitely start McCarthy. Vestergaard probably does hurt them a little bit, but I don't think enough that would worry me about having to play him. Herman, how's it going? Who would you feel for the last spot? I'm debating Woods versus Adams. Okay, so this is a wild card, 7.3. Oh, Calvert-Lewin. No, I'm only messing. Let me just check on Adams a sec. I'm only sighing because I can't decide, not because it's like an awful question or anything. Like again, Chris Wood's got pretty good fixtures now. Sheffield United and Fulham. The double game week's not quite as good though. Adams 4 shot. Yeah, I mean Chris Wood's numbers are so ridiculous. They are so ridiculous, and he has penalties as well. I think over the next 4, Chris Wood could win out. Hang on, let me remind myself of the double for. Yeah, because Southampton have got to play Liverpool. They've got to play Liverpool and Leicester in the next 4. So yes, they have a double game week. Whereas I guess Chris Wood also has to play Liverpool. But then outside of that, he has to play West Ham, Sheffield United and Fulham. To be fair, Adams has to play West Ham as well. They're not necessarily the same home and away. But Adams gets the Leeds game. That's the only thing. I think it's very close. I think I would possibly side with Chris Wood, but I know why people don't like bringing him in because it's a Burnley attacker, right? And I fully get that. But somehow he always gets really good chances, and he does go on a little bit of a run, and he's quite consistent, like in terms of the amount of goals he scores every season. So, what's he on this season so far? He's on 3 goals, but the last 3 seasons he scored 14, 10, and 10. So he's got more goals in him. I will say he has started every single game and only scored 3 goals in 15 weeks. But Sheffield United and Fulham at home is decent. Then Liverpool though, but Adams has to play Liverpool too. I think it's close. I'll go Wood, but I wouldn't die on a hill with that decision if you wanted to go for Adams instead. How many players do you think we can get away with for Gameweek 18? Which are the best players? I mean, the best players. I mean, not necessarily. I won't go through all the best players because there's a lot of players that people won't want to bring in, like Aubameyang and stuff like that, but. Most people are going to aim for Kevin De Bruyne, 1 or 2 Man City defenders, Stones and Diaz, Cancelo, 2 of those 3, Kane, Son, maybe a Spurs defender, Grealish potentially. So I guess 7 or 8 is what you want to aim for. But it's going to be tough to have all the best players and also work towards the double because obviously Salah, Fernandes, etc. are very expensive, and trying to fit in De Bruyne, Kane, Son, and Fernandes and Salah is difficult. So. It's not really about which players, how many. There's not really a. I said this on stream last night. There's not really a number where you say, right, I've hit that number of blank game week players. I can now get away with it. It's about which players do you have as well. Like a lot of people have got Martinez, obviously, but he plays Spurs. So free hitters are going to be looking at Aubameyang, Sterling, maybe Aguero, possibly a couple of Wolves players and stuff like that. That's the difference that free hitters are going to have, I suppose. But De Bruyne, 1 or 2 City defenders, Kane, Son, one Spurs defender maybe, Grealish, Calvert-Lewin. They're players that most teams are going to have. Would I start Souček or Saka this week? I have Saka down as a differential as everyone's teams look the same. Yeah, I mean, he did really well in the last game. Arsenal, I don't know what to make of him. They've got, who is it, Brighton? Yeah, Brighton away. I mean, Brighton's defence is actually pretty good, but they do always find a way of conceding. And Souček's got Southampton without Vestergaard. I don't know. Saka has flattered to the sea for so long, but then he's played so well in the last game against Chelsea. Goal and an assist. I don't know though. Hang on, let me have a quick look at something here. Let me look at some numbers. Let me see if Saka's being lucky or unlucky. So his goal threat is he's got 0.22 xG. So 0.3, 0.0. So I'm talking out loud here. I think Souček's goal threat is slightly higher. Yeah, it is slightly higher. Saka all round though. I don't know. I just feel like for Arsenal, do we really know they've turned the corner, or did they just turn up for a Chelsea game? Are they going to go to Brighton and absolutely go for it? Souček, no Vestergaard. I mean, if you want the differential, you play Saka. I still think there's an argument to be made that Souček is the better option though. But it's close. Like their expected goals, expected assists for the season so far are very, very close. It's slightly in Souček's favour for goal threat, but overall for expected assists and expected goals combined, Saka is slightly ahead. So I just think Brighton away, Southampton away, there's not much in it. I think Southampton are missing a few key players. So are Brighton, to be fair. But they've got most of their first team, apart from Lamptey. And I guess Saka he's probably not going to be playing on the left. Yeah, I don't know. That's a real tough one. I guess if you've got Saka as the differential, I don't think loads of people are going to start Souček this week. By the way, I don't think when you look on Twitter and stuff like that, it feels like Souček's this massive template player that everyone starts every week. They don't. He barely gets started. When he scored that goal, it barely affected my rank at all. So if you want to go for the differential, go Saka. I don't think there's a lot in it, basically. So you might as well play the differential, I guess. Sad, how's it going? I've done De Bruyne to Son, nice. I'm assuming Mahrez will definitely start considering he's rested. I mean, we've assumed that for like 3 weeks now, but yeah, I know what you mean. Or should I do Mahrez to Rafinha, Souček now for a hit? No, I'd probably just keep Mahrez. Alternatively, I'm thinking next week I do Mahrez and Watkins to Kane and Souček. Can't get Kane with Rafinha, and then before the double game I can do Kane to Vardy or Son to Rashford. So if Mahrez doesn't play, you've got Zuma to come in at least. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have to even play Zuma this week. So, yeah, you could make a case to keep Mahrez. There's going to be some rotation for City. I don't think players like De Bruyne will be rotated. But, yeah, surely Mahrez is going to start. But I can't tell you for sure. But, yeah, there definitely has to be a chance, I think, given the amount of minutes he's missed and the amount of minutes that other players have played. And given the turnaround time as well. It would make sense to play Mahrez, doesn't it? So against Everton, he could be decent, but we have said that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's the only thing I would say. But I don't think it's worth a hit to get Rafinha Souček in now, especially if you've got a plan to get Kane next week. So, yeah, I'd probably just stick to Mahrez, hope for the best. If not, Zuma comes off the bench. So that's all the questions in Slack. There is a question in the chat live, which is Bruno, Salah or Kane captaincy. So I own all 3 of them. I'm currently on Salah captain, Kane vice, and Bruno not. Obviously, it's like third choice for me. Look, Wolves are probably there for the taking at the moment. And Man United are going to go on the attack. That's one thing with Man United versus like a Spurs. Man United will attack. They're not going to look to really sit deep. They do like to counter, but they're happy to go on the front foot, whereas I don't think Spurs are right now. Spurs are hard to know. It's hard to know where Spurs are right now because they've had a fairly difficult run of fixtures where they have sat deep. They've looked to just win 1-0, etc. And so it's hard to know what to make of Kane or Son. But Fulham is a good fixture. So he's down as my vice right now, Kane. And then hopefully, obviously, maybe even do more than that against Leeds. But I have still picked Salah as captain. I still think he's been the best this year, pretty much. And I know he blanked against West Brom. And look, don't get me wrong, Newcastle could frustrate Liverpool as well. But it wasn't too long ago he was scoring 16 points in 33 minutes and he hasn't blanked before that for a while. He doesn't really blank that often. And I don't think he doesn't blank that often shouldn't be a reason to pick him at all. But I do think Newcastle's a decent game. And I do think most of the time, unless another player's got a really standout fixture, I'm always going to tend to side towards Salah, and there's no reason not to usually. So Salah, for me, I've gone Salah. I've got Kane as my vice captain, and I haven't. Obviously, then Bruno's kind of my third choice. But to be honest, I wouldn't even really, again, die on a hill to say that Kane is a much better vice than Bruno because Bruno's just always involved. So it's probably just good that you got all 3 of those players. But Salah for me. Okay, another question in the chat's just come in Slack. Would you chance anything with my bench order? Should I play Zuma? You could play Zuma ahead of Cresswell, but I don't think there's a huge amount in it, to be honest. Nothing wrong with the bench order, really. Davis isn't going to play anyway, and Kilman's got Man United. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. What are we on? We're on 20 minutes. Not bad. I didn't think we would go that long. Maybe I've just rambled way too much. I'll leave it there. I will try and get in another Q&A. There'll only be one Q&A for the next game week as well, because the deadline is today. And then the next deadline is Friday. So there's only a few days in between to get out the content. I'm going to try and take most of Tuesday off as well, because Christmas has been ridiculous. So yeah, there'll be one Q&A next week. It'll probably be on Thursday or Friday. No, probably be on Thursday night or Friday morning. Probably Friday morning, to be honest. And I'll try and get in as many questions as possible. I'm doing a deadline stream at 12:30 today. That's the only other video I'm doing, apart from stuff on Scout. So yeah, thanks for the questions. Good luck this week. It does feel like it's going to be a tough week because there's going to be rotation because of Christmas. And because of that, it's tricky to know exactly which transfers to make, which players are tired, which players are definitely going to start. I feel like, to be honest, I've taken a hit this week myself, and it's probably not the week to have done that, just given how I think it's going to go. This could be a low-scoring week, and it could be a week to tread water, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not, and hopefully the hit for me pays off, and for anyone else that's taken a hit. I think the team's looking quite good this week, but I thought that last week, and then Salah blanked, but... yeah, we go again. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I'm just waffling now. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you again Friday morning probably.